Well, the April flood of 2025 in southern Indiana just keeps on keeping on. I'm sure you can see in the rear view mirror there and through the back glass, we've got 2 kayaks loaded up. My mother and father-in-law are not going to be able to get out of their home after. He could probably get out by tractor today if he could see the driveway, but have to be a tall tractor. So we're gonna go over and get him a little experience in the kayak, make sure he's comfortable. And he's got a vehicle parked on the opposite side of the water, which is out on the actual county road. So let's go check out the situation, see what the high water looks like. I'm sure you guys saw the castle video of Ryan and I checking on the high water, draining the pool, doing all those things that lots of rain causes havoc with rental properties. So we'll also see how much backwater we can show you guys, but the most important part today is to get the kayaks across the creek, make sure the father-in-law for sure is comfortable and can get himself in and out so they can go get their supplies and things that are needed as needed, because it looks like this water is going to be hanging around for roughly a week, and it's still not as deep as what it's going to get. We'll show you all that when we get there. So just to kind of give you guys a visual before we make it to the backwater, you can see this creek is moving. Normally we can drive across here and there's maybe a 2-foot wide area of water right here at the base of this slope. So you can obviously tell that there's a whole lot of water. Like that ditch on the other side normally has 0 water in it, and this doesn't look like much backwater, flood water, or whatever, etc., etc. But basically we're going to raise another 2.5 feet, I believe it is, assuming their current projections are correct. And once we make this bend here, you guys will see where the backwater has made it to. This creek is completely full, several feet of water, normally has inches of water in it. And then as we make it around the bend here, you can start to see all the backwater down there. So my mother and father-in-law live way back there off the road. You can see their home now. Now the trees will block it, but basically they need to be able to get in and out of their house. It's not that they weren't prepared for the high water. They just need to be able to take care of this farm here. And then if you go roughly 1.5 miles that direction, the direction we're going now, is the other half of the farm that's separated by a county highway, and the water's over all of it. The water is right up to the edge of the road here, and again we've got 2 more feet to rise, and if you look right over there you can actually see the guardrail of the bridge. By the time this water level is done rising, the guard railing will be gone completely. So what we're going to do is, as you saw that direction, there is flow, and this is rising because of that flow, and the river is still rising, but there's going to be current closer to the bridge, and we don't want to get sucked under the bridge. So we're going to launch the kayaks right here, and we're going to pull the second kayak with us all the way up there. You guys can see that white cow on the right side of the driveway and the 3 black cows on the left side to the right of that silver roofed barn. We're going to pull the second kayak all the way over there so that the father-in-law can keep a kayak on that side. And then he's, if I remember correctly, he said he's got a vehicle parked all the way up there. There's a steep hillside, maybe another 1/2 mile. He's got a vehicle parked there so he can kayak down the creek from his home, down the creek, out to the edge of the woods on the other side where it's higher, and then pull the kayak up on the bank, hop in his vehicle, and drive to the other farm. Now, once we get 2 more feet of water, I might have time to drive around and show you guys the other spot that it's going to get over. So we have to kayak across the highway and basically have a 3rd vehicle staged over there. And eventually, basically what I'm explaining to you is if he doesn't move his vehicle here, it'll get trapped also, and he won't be able to utilize it at all. It'll never get truly flooded, but he wouldn't be able to go anywhere except to this high water right here in front of us and to the next high water spot. So we're going to get unloaded here, and we'll paddle across and make sure that we get everything taken care of. Even the redworms are saying, I can't handle that much water. I gotta cross the gravel road. Bet you it ran him out of that dirt right there where his home is. Now he's gotta go all the way over there. Find him a new home over there, and oh, guess what? Worm, you better go up there on that hillside. You're gonna get flooded again there, little buddy. All right, let's get these kayaks out of here. Hopefully you guys can, I don't like magnetizing you to my truck. So hopefully there's enough magnetization that we don't knock you guys off there. Kayaks are so handy. Honestly, we don't use them that frequently, but they're very handy for things like this. And these are sit-in kayaks that we got from Cabela's years ago. When I say sit-in, I'll show you what that means here in just a second. Some people have sit-ons. My opinion, the sit-on isn't nearly as stable as the sit-in. So a sit-on, your chair would not be, I guess I should confirm that you guys can actually see this. Yeah. A sit-on, basically your butt would be the level of this or even higher in some cases, depending on the kayak that you get. These are sit-in, so there's a little post here, and in the side of the kayak there's a slot. And what that does is it just holds your seat in the center of the kayak. This piece is just a cover, not worried about that for what we're doing today. But you can see that my butt is going to be significantly lower than the top of the kayak. So the deeper you sit in a kayak, the more stable that kayak is. Guaranteed, 100%. Get the second chair in. And then I've got to tie the two kayaks together so that one will pull behind me. We've got our life jackets. So that one, I'll leave the father-in-law the purple kayak. That'll make him happy. I bet you he don't care what the color is as long as it gets the job done. That's that paddle, my paddle, and now basically I'm going to tether the two kayaks together by connecting a string from this handle to that front handle, and then as I take off with this kayak, it'll pull that one right in behind me. We're gonna get her tied up and we'll show you what we got. I'm not pulling a lot of weight here, so we're gonna use a string line that we use when we're doing construction. You guys have seen me use this before. I tied a big loop so that I can run the loop through the handle, run this piece through the loop, pull the loop down nice and tight, snug should I say, not tight. Again, we're not doing much here, we're doing just enough basically. Of course, someone's gonna want to call me. Yes sir. Well sure, it's gonna take me a good 5-10 minutes to paddle across this thing, I would guess. I'm not going to go on a race speed. I'm just going to get across the creek. So yeah. Yeah, need to keep them in with food, I understand. All right, we'll see you there shortly. Bye. Yeah, I do, right there in the corner by that black cow, the shorter black cow there. It sure does. New spots, new safe havens, and new stuff to eat too. I guarantee it. Okie dokie. Bye. Yep. That was the father-in-law letting me know that he's got to feed the cows because they like to cross the fence since it's off when the water's up. If he keeps food in there for them, they just stand there and eat and they don't leave. Now we're going to tie off the front side of this one. Nothing special, just to make sure it doesn't come undone knot kind of thing. That's really all we're trying to do. Now I can take this, lock my string back on there where it belongs, throw it in that kayak. Might get our feet a little wet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Let's get a position here to where I can just take off with that one. We'll set this one right off. Grab you guys, let's head across. It's a little windy and chilly down here. Is my kayak following me? Hey, that's what we want. We're just basically shoving ourselves across the ground right now. And it's gonna be really hard to paddle and hold you guys at the same time. So I'm gonna try to strap you up here on front to where you can see where we're going, and I might grab you and turn you around there once in a while because the wind blows kayaks around like a leaf. So you can see that one there is already blowed behind me. So see if I can't get you guys positioned to where you won't fall off, but yet I can still paddle at the same time. Is that gonna work or is that not gonna work? That ain't too bad. You might even be able to see the father-in-law going out there with his hay right there, going to go across that field. I didn't bring the right setup to hook you guys on my head or on my chest, so we're gonna have to deal with the not so great view. Just a nice and easy stroll in the kayak. Maybe if I turn you guys around, you get a decent view from the kayak pulling behind me and the water level behind me. Watch me paddle my kayak. Does that excite you guys? Still have a purple kayak behind us? Yep, we sure do. Got some geese over there in the field. It's a little chilly out here, so I'm trying to, these little cups keep the water from dripping all the way down on your hands, but they don't do the greatest job, and it's not the warmest out here. Still got a purple. Still got a purple. See, even though you don't use things around your house and people consider you a hoarder sometimes, look at this. This came in clutch. It's gonna ensure the in-laws can get out and get stuff if they need it in a safe manner. All they gotta do is take their time and paddle across the high water. I offered him my John boat, but he was concerned he wouldn't be able to get close enough to the house and he'd have to leave the boat in a spot that he couldn't see it. And I said, well, how about we just tie it to a tree? We'll just tie it up high. It can't go nowhere. You just might get wet to have to get in it. So he chose the kayaks. Father-in-law I don't think has ever been in a kayak, so we're gonna have to do some education here when he gets done feeding the cows. We're almost to our LZ. And we still have a purple kayak, so we're batting 1,000 so far. In-law, Mr. John got his bail set down over there. You guys can see him up there on the hillside. Oh man, you got water on there. It's dirty. There's a lot of water here. And like I said just a moment ago, we got 2 more feet that the river is gonna raise. It is hard to paddle and hold you guys. I'm wiggling you all over the place. Once we hit this bank right up here, we'll hop out and get the kayaks pulled up on the bank. You can see the father-in-law over there lifting his bale feeder ring. He's gonna set it over top of the other bale and he'll be done and headed back around this way, and we'll get him trained. I think this will give you a greater respect with how far I just paddled. You guys can see a little red over there. My guess is it's 200 yards away, maybe 250. I'll get the father-in-law's opinion here shortly. He knows the length of this field, so he'll be able to tell us almost exactly how far it is. But he's coming around on the tractor. Got to close the gate over there. He's gonna come around and we're gonna get him in a kayak for the first time. I probably won't video the first portions of it, but we're gonna get him comfortable in a kayak, as this is how he's gonna be getting in and out. So I wanna make sure he's capable of doing it safely and make sure he's comfortable. And then we'll get out of here and we'll hopefully have some time yet to drive around and show you guys the high water around the other side, which essentially is straight down this valley. This creek runs and it turns a little and it comes over here and then it straightens back out and then it goes to the right and it goes to the left, and then there's another county road over there, and that's where there's another bridge. It's a much larger bridge that he's got to contend with once the water comes up 2 more feet. Because you got to think, elevation wise, where I'm standing, I am significantly away from the water, probably, I don't know, 40 feet or so, and I'm only a couple of inches above the water. So 2 feet more, you can see that white cow there. That water that's coming up in here is going to get all the way up to there. Somewhere probably about halfway to them rocks would be my guess, is where that water is going to get before it's over with. So he's going to be at home and look like he's got a great big body of water out in front of his house, which honestly would be pretty awesome. So let's get him over here and get him trained. We'll show you guys Mr. John in the kayak once he's comfortable. What do you think, Johnny boy? Think you can handle it?
I believe. Maybe.
Everybody's wondering, can you swim, Johnny boy?
Like a rock.
So normally I don't wear a life jacket with a kayak. You should, however, normally I don't. John boy swims like a rock over there, so we're gonna make sure he has a good life jacket, which he has on now. And he's just we're paddling out across the field so that he can get comfortable with the kayak before I leave him be. Doing a good job, John.
You know, it's right side up.
That's right. You're not head under, you're head over, so we're good to go so far. Pretty confident he's got her under control. He's done a pretty good job. It's not very deep where we're at. I can see the bottom. We're probably in a foot of water.
That's our driveway.
You made it, John boy.
Yeah.
That is your driveway. Your driveway is water. We got him off here to the side of the road in case it rises while he's on the other farm taking care of things. I mean, you can see it right now.
Yeah, coming up there already.
You can see the little floaties in the water.
Oh yeah, going upstream.
Going up. Yep. Sure. So it's rising fast enough we can watch it. But I think you'll be good up there. That's a good 2 feet above the current water, and we only got 2.5 feet to go. So, and that's Wednesday, right? Is when they're saying Thursday is after when it's going to crest.
As long as they don't change it again.
As long as they don't change it. The old kayaks work good. I'm gonna take John to his truck. I thought it was that way. He actually parked it that way. So we'll take John to his truck, and then I'll drive around and show you guys where the water's over the road on the other side of the creek. Well, as you can see, here's the other spot, one of two. I got to drive all the way around to show you guys the other one, but John doesn't think we can drive through this one. My truck's pretty tall, but we're not going to risk it because high water is dangerous. I will say you can see the gravel road yet.
Yeah.
But it does disappear
Up there.
right up there. So I would guess, what do you think, John? Oh, pushing 3 feet there right at the base of the bridge?
Close to it, probably.
And just so you guys know, none of this normally has any water in it. This is John's bean field. That's exactly right. Normally it's beans all the way, or corn, all the way to that strip of woods, all the way back to that corner, and then the creek is down there in the corner. We won't risk it today, but I'll show you guys the other side. We'll get John to his vehicle and we'll go around. You guys can see there on the left, right over top the mirror, all the backwater. We are now on the opposite side of the valley that we were just in with kayaks. As you can see in front of the truck here, you can see that orange and black striped sign down there. That's the starting point of the guardrail of the bridge. The guardrail's completely under now. Yesterday we drove through here and it was at the bottom of the guardrail. So if you follow that creek through there about, oh, I don't know, 300, 400 yards, that's where John and I just were on the other side of this water, where we couldn't make it to that steep hillside. So you guys can see that agricultural field there on the left. All that and all that hillside you see is the other half of Mr. John's farm. So he's got to figure out a way to get to his mom and dad's, and that way is from the other side. When we go out and hit Highway 70 and go back to the top of the hill, there's another road that brings you back to the other side of this high water. So he's driving around the other way. We just happen to drive around this way. And I will also get you guys an update on Derby, because there's a lot of water in Derby. Let's head to Derby. You guys see the Derby market on DP's channel, my channel, Captain Kleeman's channel, all the above. There's the Derby market. There's DP's pole barn. You can see all these vehicles and boats parked here and campers. That's because the normal spot that everybody stores their boats and campers and everything much closer to the river is on the other side of all that high water. I'm sure you can see that through the windshield there. We do have a way up and around and over to ensure we can access Derby. However, once you come up over this hill, Derby is, well, everyone is safe that I've talked to, that I'm aware of, that I know is in the water. But there's a whole lot of water in Derby, and you guys are just about to see it. And we can see it from two different spots, but we're going to go down before we go up. You can see the community center is on an island over there, Mr. Frenchville. That's the Derby Community Center that you guys see a lot. And yeah, surrounded by water. Lots of people have came down to help at the tavern, make sure that the tavern is quote-unquote protected. As you'll see, there's water all the way around it and almost up into the old General Derby store here that's closer to the river. You can see the tavern there on the left. They've got the tarps and sandbags, and they're trying to keep it from getting in there. There's a lot of water in Derby. You can see the signs on the telephone pole over there, what each year was. 37, I believe, is that highest one. We're not going to get to 37. That was 60 feet and some change. So we're going to let this guy pass so we can get turned around and head down the other direction. But you guys can see there's a lot of water in Derby. We'll pull down past the post office here in Derby. These pole barns you see over here is the typical location for boat storage. Matter of fact, that's where I store my boat. And we had to pull it. That open pole barn over there that you can see, bay number 14, which is basically straight behind that American flag on the opposite side of the parking lot, is where we keep our boat. And there's a good 2 foot of water in there, foot 2, something like that. But you guys can see everything current wise. If you look at this sign down here, it's got stuff stacked up against it. The water is rushing this direction because the river is rising so fast. You can see this home over here on the left hand side. It's all the way around it. I know those are good friends of ours. They got all the stuff out of it. The water level will get it about another 2 feet in that garage there at the bottom, but it is not going to damage anything in that home. That pole barn's got a lot of water up on it, and you guys can see the current. I know you can. It's interesting. We got 2 more feet to go. You can see the Derby Community sign down there, about to float. 2 more feet, that'll be completely under the water, or really close to it. Well, normally you can drive right out here and you can hit 66, and there's agricultural fields everywhere, but you can see here on the right, nothing but backwater. Here in front of me, nothing but backwater. To the left, nothing but backwater. It's just all backwater. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed taking the kayaks to the in-laws, getting them away in and out of their house with all this backwater. And as we know, it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn those notifications on and share away.